Here's a simple system we use to scale martial arts schools past $100,000 per month. First, we always start with the offer. Now, in our industry, there's lots of different offers that people use. People use free classes, people will use a free week or a free month. Some people use paid offers, like a week for 20 bucks or 4 weeks for $49 with the uniform being included. For myself personally, I'm all about simplicity when it comes to business, and that's why I like offering just one free class to people. Now, one problem a lot of people have with the free offer is they're worried about their show rates being lower and basically just converting much less leads because it's a lower commitment versus somebody paying. But what we find is if you have the right types of content in your ads to attract higher quality leads right off the bat, you're building an emotional connection with parents even before they opt in. And then once they opt in, you're priming them with value-driven content. You're showing them lots of extra content of your program and testimonials, and you're giving them all the information you need ahead of time, and you're getting on the phones with them personally and having like a really good conversation where you build rapport and an emotional connection. You can still have 60, 70, 80% booking and show rates and closing rates by doing that. The reason why most people don't get good results with free trials is because number one, their ad creatives suck. They're not doing anything to build an emotional connection. It's just these generic graphics, sometimes these cartoony looking stuff, these AI ChatGPT produced stuff, or even the photos and videos they use in their ads aren't a good representation of their program. So right off the bat, they're attracting the wrong types of people with their ads. And then they just rely on generic automations and they don't do anything to reinforce people's decisions after they opt in. And because of that, it's very low conversion rates and it's not profitable. But I'm telling you, I'd say 95% of our clients use just one free class and they're growing month after month. And we've had multiple martial arts schools now that we've helped pass the 100K a month mark. So it works. It worked for our school, going from 0 to 100K a month in 5 years, and it's working for all the schools we work with as well. Now, now that we have the offer, the next thing we go into is content creation. So the first thing we think about with any martial arts school when trying to scale them up is just getting more student flow in. We focus on the front end of the business first. Most martial arts schools, their initial problem is they just need more students enrolling every single month to grow. So we solve that problem first. The way we do this is nowadays the number one factor in basically getting more leads and students for your business is mastering content creation. Your content is king. And whether it's content for ads or content for your organic social media, content for your website, the businesses that can create the best content, that's the best representation of their programs, that build an emotional connection, that differentiate them from everybody else, are the ones who are winning. So what we do is we have videographers come into our schools and film high quality content. Immediately that separates us from all the martial arts schools out there working with $500 a month, $1,000 a month agencies using these generic AI cartoon graphics that they copy and paste for all their clients. We actually create content that represents the quality of our programs and our clients' programs. And because of that, we attract way more leads, but the right types of leads for our business, because again, the content's a good representation of our program. We'll create content around the different pain points people have, the different goals they have. We'll create content showcasing what the classes entails. We'll create content showing testimonials of parents, of different students, talking about how our program has changed their lives. And by producing a high volume of unique content, we're able to basically outperform everybody else when it comes to ads. And by the way, the content isn't just like a one-time thing that we do. We're constantly producing new content. We do a combination of high quality videos with a videographer. We'll have school owners film content from their phones to give an organic feel as well. And we just try lots of different stuff all built around building an emotional connection with parents. Then, once we have the content, then we actually have to show it to parents to get them to sign up for our program. So we initially start with Meta Ads. Meta Ads is still the fastest way to grow martial arts schools. It's just majority of martial arts schools have had bad experience with Meta Ads because they worked with like really low quality, cheap agencies who just couldn't deliver results. But that perspective is like a student saying like, oh, I've went to a couple martial arts schools and you know, it sucks, so I guess martial arts doesn't work, it sucks as well. Just because a student went to a couple low quality martial arts schools doesn't mean all martial arts sucks. They might have just had a bad experience with a few schools and haven't found a high quality school like yours yet and really experience what the true value of martial arts. Or it's like saying, you know, another perspective is it's like saying like, oh, like, you know, I had a couple of relationships that didn't work out, so I guess like I'm never going to date anybody or get married ever in my life. It's like kind of stupid, right? Like you keep going until you find the one. Same thing when it comes to growing your martial arts school. Just because you've had bad experiences with ads in the past doesn't mean Meta Ads don't work. It's just the fact that you weren't using the right strategy. So what we do is when we have this high quality content, it's what powers our clients' Meta Ads performance. We initially start with just Meta Ads and getting our clients a consistent flow through Meta Ads. So we try to get them to, you know, at least double-digit student numbers per month, 10, 15, sometimes like 20 students a month from Meta Ads. And we focus on scaling their ad spend until we hit the capacity in their area. There's only so much you can spend on ads and so many students you can get before you start experiencing a law of diminishing returns, where for every additional, you know, 500,000 a month you put in, you're not going to get the same return. So we scale up Meta Ads first to basically dominate the area and get that consistent flow of students. And then once we find that a school is kind of tapping out on Meta Ads, we don't want them to be solely reliant on one platform. So we'll start to diversify their lead and student flow to other platforms. So we'll run ads on platforms like Google Ads, on YouTube Ads. We'll also put in other systems in place. So we'll help them get internal and external grassroots marketing systems put in their business. So they're running events at their school, they're running local community events and collaborating with schools and local businesses. We get their website dialed in and improved so they get more traffic to their website, they convert a higher percentage of their traffic. We help them dial in their organic social media strategies, so they're nurturing all the people who follow them, they're growing their following, they're driving more traffic to their business. And this is kind of the key to growing a $100,000 a month school. You can't just be reliant on one platform and hope for that to get you there. It's a combination of lots of different systems all funneling into your business. And that's why most martial arts schools aren't getting the results they want nowadays, is because they look at Meta Ads as their ticket to scaling, and when it doesn't work, they start questioning everything. But Meta Ads alone isn't going to scale your business. It's definitely a great platform for your initial growth, but it's a combination of all those systems that gets you, you know, those like 100+ leads per month and actually helps your school grow significantly fast. So again, we start with the content, we use the content to feed our Meta Ads, we scale our Meta Ads up, and then as the school scales up and is more profitable, then we diversify the flow. We have students coming from Meta Ads, from Google Ads, from YouTube Ads. We get the grassroots marketing systems in place for internal and external events. We optimize a website, we optimize the organic social media content as well. And then all of this just funnels right into the business. And that's how they dominate when it comes to lead flow. The next step is actually converting those leads into paying students. Now, most people just rely on AI bots and automations nowadays. We have an in-house team of martial artists who basically handle all the lead follow-ups, not only for our own schools, but of course for our clients as well. Because we own our own martial arts schools, we can source martial artists from our schools. We've trained them to handle all of the lead follow-ups and then have them handle it for us and our clients. And that's why we're able to convert such a high percentage of leads, is because nowadays people, again, they just use automations, or they'll use VAs, like people in the Philippines and overseas, for like a couple bucks an hour to do the lead follow-ups. Or they just have some generic salespeople who've never actually done martial arts before. And because of that, they're not able to build a genuine connection with people prior to them coming in. And the question is, when people sign up on your lead form but they don't book and show up, why is it that they do that? It's because of lack of trust and lack of information. And by having a real martial artist who can talk about martial arts from a first-hand perspective and can passionately talk to them on the phones, we're able to build a much better connection, which leads to us being more top of mind, which leads to more people showing up. We also couple that with peppering in lots of high-value content. So we'll send people videos showing what the trial class entails. We'll send them video testimonials, like relevant testimonials based on whatever their pain points and goals are. We'll send them more information about our program, our class schedule, everything they need ahead of time in order to make an informed decision. Next is, once people actually show up for their trial classes, then of course we need to enroll them into paying students. The simplest way we go about it is we just have 3 membership options: a 1-day a week, 2-day a week, and 3-day a week memberships. As soon as you have over 3 options, your conversion rate will go down because people will suffer from decision fatigue. And instead of pricing our memberships as monthly, we price it as bi-weekly or weekly. Number one, you actually make 8% more per year because of extra billing cycles. But number two, it's a lower barrier of entry for somebody to get started. So for example, instead of somebody having to pay $200 on the first day, well, if it's bi-weekly, they only have to pay $100. If it's weekly, they only have to pay $50. So it's much easier for somebody to get started in your program when they don't have to pay that entire monthly payment on the first day. The other thing that we do is we just put in an incentive offer in place. So we need to give people a reason to enroll on the first day instead of going home saying they want to think about it or they need to talk to their spouse. So what we'll do is we implement a $200 enrollment fee, which includes the uniform. But if people enroll on the first day of the trial, we waive the entire $200 enrollment fee so they can get started for as low as, let's say, $99 if that's your bi-weekly price, or $50 if that's your weekly price. And now it's an offer so good, people would be stupid to say no. And as long as you teach an amazing trial class and the child is begging their parents to sign up at the end of the class, you'll find just from implementing those two things, the membership structure and the incentive, you'll have at least 60 to 70% closing rates. Now, the last thing that we do is we need to make sure once we enroll new students, we're getting them out of the danger zone. And the danger zone is the first 90 days. That's where majority of students quit and fall through the cracks at martial arts schools. So we create a full 90-day student journey where we pepper in quick wins. Like basically every class or every couple classes, we want that student to get a quick win, whether it's getting their uniform, getting their white belt, getting their half stripes, or getting a badge. We basically just want to constantly give them those quick wins to reinforce their decision. Obviously, without watering down the quality of our program, students have to earn any progress. But we look at our program and figure out all the wins that a new student will have from the moment they sign up to that 90-day mark. And then we maintain very consistent communication with the parents as well. So we're reaching out to the parents every single week via phone calls just to check in and see how everything's going. Obviously, we speak to the parents when they come in as well. We make sure their child is having a good time in our program. We make sure they're staying consistent with the classes. We make sure that they're getting those quick wins as well. And through that, and then adding in lots of different retention systems that we do in the back end, we just ensure that students have a great experience over the first 90 days. It's a great start to our program, and usually once people make it past the 90-day mark, they've seen the value in the program and the chances of them staying with us is much higher. So that's pretty much the very simple system, from creating an offer to the content to generating leads to making sure they show up to making sure they sign up to making sure they stay. that we implement for martial arts schools to scale them past 100K a month. Now, obviously, I simplified everything quite a bit, or else this would turn into, a 10, 20, 30-hour video. There's lots of minute details and strategies that go into it to juice up our clients' performance, but at a very high level, that's the system that we follow that helps martial arts schools add 10, 20, 30K of new monthly revenue every single year, and how we grow martial arts schools past $100,000 per month very quickly. So that's it for this video, guys. Appreciate you watching, and we'll see you in the next one.